Welcome back, guys. It is championship racing once again here at SARCO. We're in our season 3 of 2018 and we kick off a new championship in the BMW E30 M3 Group A. We're round 1 and we're at the Silverstone GP. Our format for this championship is a 5-minute qualifier with 2 races of 10 laps each. The temperature is cold, the track is cold, and it is overcast. We unfortunately are defaulted to hard tyres between the loose and the stable setup. Sit back and enjoy the highlights of race 1 and 2 here for Lobby 1. So we head over to the starting lineup here at race number 1, but unfortunately we lose Clive from Zeta Racing due to a disconnection and not being able to join the room once again. Jason from Team Wasted, he unfortunately has work commitments and he is unable to join. Yaku from Chasing Beavers, he unfortunately has some wheel calibration issues, so he too is out for this event. And our thoughts and prayers still go out to Ty Moore after him having to go back into surgery. Ty, we're all thinking about you. Starting off in row number 6, we have Colin for Ninko. He's driving in car number 15 and he's alongside Theo in car number 39 for DNA Racing. Moving up to a row in number 5. In 10th place is Dylan, driving out of his Green Mamba colours in car number 44, and he's alongside a 9th position Jakes in car number 9, driving for Ninja Racing. We move to a row 4. In 8th position is Andrew, driving in car number 60 for the Green Mambas, and he's behind the 7th place Dupi, also in car number 60, representing Flat Rabbit Racing. We move up to row number 3. In 6th place, our Lone Ranger Ronaldo, driving in car number 29, and he is behind Dirkie in 5th place. Dirkie is representing Tosca 1 in car number 38. Moving to row number 2. It is all a silverback racing affair with Bruno in car number 45 in 4th place and Marius in car number 44 in 3rd place. Row number 1, it is a Tosco affair, but yet representing the same stable, but driving in different teams. Gerard is in 2nd place in car number 38, and Charles in 38 is in pole position. As we wait for this green lights, and off they go. That's Morris, he's had a good line off the start. I see Dirkie, he too has had a great start. As they prepare to go into turn 1, it is 3 wide. Well, that's Morris and Charles touching, going wide. That's allowed Gerard to go into the lead there around the outside as they prepare to go into turn number 3. Gerard leads with Marius 2nd. That looks like Dirkie in 3rd. Marius is 4th. Hard on the brakes down to turn 4. Marius has a look on the inside. Well, that's Charles. He's gone into Gerard and unfortunately taken Marius with him. We chase Dylan as he puts pressure on Dupi as they prepare to go through turns 10 and 11. Just ahead of Dupi in that car 60 is Andrew for Green Mamba Racing. Well, Dylan went a little bit wide there coming out of turn number 13. Dupi will tuck it behind Andrew and get a bit of a tow and leave Dylan further behind. As Andrew goes through turn number 15, Dupi right on his tail into this tricky braking zone here. Turn number 16, we see Dirkie, our 1st place driver, going past there. Very neat and tidy there by Dupi. You see Jakes, he's made an overtake over Dylan. So Jakes, he's moved himself up into 4th place. We jump to the front of the action with Dirkie. He is going through turn number 3. Quick look at what's happening in those positions. So Dirkie leads with Andrew 2nd. Dupi is 3rd. Jakes 4th. Dylan is 5th with Charles 6th. Theo 7th. Bruno 8th. Colin 9th. Marius 10th. Gerard in 11th. And Ronaldo down in 12th position. So we jump to this battle here in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. big power slide there by Dupi. We see Jake C2's got a little bit sideways as they entered into turn number 6. Well, Andrew has gone a bit wide. Dupi has also gone a bit wide. I think that's going to allow Jakes to get the run on him as they go through turn 9. Oh, Jakes had a little look on the inside. Much tighter line there by Jakes, who makes it quite an easy overtake in the end there. So Jakes moves himself up into 3rd place. So Dupi is unfortunately down to 4th. Great shots of those cars as they went through turn number 10. That's Dylan starting to put pressure on Dupi now. And just behind him, that's Gerard. Gerard's now starting to make way on Dylan. Looks like Jakes will have a look on the inside. No, he doesn't. Jump on board behind Jakes. And exiting out of turn number 15. Now going into hard braking zone into 16. And this tricky little right-hander in turn number 17. Andrew had a much better line there. Got that power on a lot sooner than Jakes was able to. Do a little kink at 18. But it looks like that a wider line by Jakes has allowed him to get the run on Andrew. Brakes a little bit earlier than Andrew. He'll tighten that line up. Andrew unfortunately has gone a bit wide. Jakes now moves to the inside, but he will now have the outside. Going into turn number 3. Andrew leaves enough space for Jakes, and Jakes makes it an easy overtake in the end there. Great move there by Jakes, great respect there by Andrew. So correction, I did say that was cut out in the background. That actually was Turbo Scholl. So Scholl, he has moved himself ahead of Dylan. Starting to have a look at, they're all inside of Dupi, but Dupi does able to hold that line. Scholl gets out. Dylan's really getting right up behind him. And that's Marius there. He's currently in 7th place, starting to put pressure on Dylan. Scholl has a look on the inside with Dupi. Dupi goes wide and Scholl gets that line on Andrew. Andrew starts going a bit defensive, but realizes that Scholl, no, he doesn't allow Scholl to go through. I honestly thought that he would let him go, but Andrew goes defensive. Oh, the two drivers touch. As they come through turn 10, Scholl goes around the outside and does eventually make it an easy overtake over Andrew. Lots of action here in this first race. We jump on board ahead of the picture there. That's Jakes in 2nd, Scholl's 3rd, Andrew's 4th, Dupi is 5th. This is Bruno in 5th, Dylan 6th. Bruno, he's had a great run coming out of turn number 13, set himself up for 14. He moved himself up into a 5th place. Unfortunately, in the distance there, I just saw Dirkie, he's disconnected. So Jakes, he now leads this race with Scholl 2nd, Andrew's 3rd, Bruno 4th, Dupi is 5th, Dylan is 6th. Well, that's Dylan going very wide over on the power, nearly lost the rear. Marius is 7th, Gerard is 8th. Theo is in 9th place with Ronaldo, our Lone Ranger, in 10th. Colin is in 11th, and Dirkie unfortunately disconnecting. So Dupi moving on the inside, going into turn number 1. Dupi will move himself ahead of Andrew. Well, Andrew will brake, that's allowed. Dylan, he will come back and he will move himself behind Dupi ahead of Andrew. So Andrew unfortunately loses 2 places. Dylan's now having a look on the inside going through turn number 3. But that puts him on the outside. Well, Andrew has a look on the inside. They're coming into turn 4. Dylan's got to go wide. Well, Dylan, big power slide, back on that power. But Andrew has fought back. He's held that position. As his 2 drivers go too wide through the kink in turn 5. There we see Marius and Gerard are starting to make way. So Dylan makes that overtake. Andrew, he's unfortunately a drop down. So approaching turn number 9, Marius is starting to put a bit of pressure here on Andrew. Marius takes a much tighter line. he's able to move himself ahead of Andrew. So unfortunately, Andrew having lost 3 positions in the last 10 corners. Marius moving himself up the field, having come off in turn number 3 after that contact between Charles Gerard. We see further down the track, this is Ronaldo starting to put a bit of pressure here on Theo as they come through turn number 13. There in the background there we saw Colin. Not too sure what had happened where Ronaldo was 3rd place at one stage. Ronaldo going very tight coming through turn number 15. As he got that power on, we'll have a look on the inside here coming into turn 16. He backs off, but Theo's basically outbraked himself. He's carried too much speed, and that's allowed Ronaldo to move up the position. So coming down that back straight, we take a look at the positions. So Charles leads with Bruno 2nd, Jakes is 3rd, Duppy his 4th with Justo 5th, Marius is 6th, Andrew is 7th. Well, Andrew is 8th with Gerard now 7th. Ronaldo's in 9th, Theo's in 10th, Colin in 7th, and Dirkie unfortunately disconnecting. There's Marius putting some pressure on Dylan as they prepare to go into turn number 15. Marius has a look, but he pulls out there. Well, it's contact between Dylan and Marius, forcing that sent both of them off. So there's Gerard. He's now moved himself ahead of both Dylan and Marius. We'll take a quick look at the positions. Charles still leads with Bruno in 2nd, Jakes is 3rd, Duppy 4th, Gerard is 5th, Andrew 6th, Marius 7th, Dylan in 8th, Ronaldo 9th, Theo 10th, Colin 11th, and Dirkie unfortunately disconnecting. Coming out of turn number 5, that's Marius. Got a great exit over Andrew. He's moved himself to the inside as he prepares to go into turn number 6. Pretty straightforward overtake in the end there. Marius has now moved himself up into 6th place, and Andrew unfortunately dropping down to 7th. Well, Andrew taking a little bit of curb there with him, but I don't think they would have got him a slowdown penalty. Marius exits out of turn number 8 and setting up for turn number 9. Big counter steer for Marius going through that corner. In shot, Gerard in 5th position, starting to put massive pressure here on Duppy as they're heading down the back straight. They'll be going into turn number 15. Will Gerard tighten up, go on the inside here of Duppy? No, Duppy has a great line, but great little drift there by Gerard going through turn number 15. Then hard on the brakes into this tricky 16, 17 and 18. Duppy's looking pretty comfortable there, but Gerard is right on him. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a little bit of a nudge there. As they come through 18 and cross the line, Gerard will have a look to the inside. Going into turn 1, that's side by side. Gerard goes around the outside, takes that position over Duppy, but a great fight there by Duppy. Gerard has been able to make that move stick. Gerard is now up into 4th place, and Duppy is unfortunately down to 5th. That's our 2nd place driver in the yellow car number 44. That's Bruno. In shot now is Jakes, the teammate to Ty Moore. As I mentioned just before we did the driver's position, that Ty is still fighting for his life, having had to go for surgery once again after his unfortunate bike accident. But we're all definitely thinking about him and sending all our prayers through to both Ty and his family. In shot, our race leader, Charles. Lap number 8, Charles leads with Bruno 2nd, Jakes is 3rd, Gerard is in 4th, Duppy in 5th with Marius in 6th, Andrew's in 7th, Dylan 8th, Ronaldo's in 9th, Theo 10, Colin 11th, and Dirkie unfortunately having disconnected from the lead. Very unfortunate. But my sources tell me that he is working on a new line. So we'll definitely monitor that situation to see how it goes. In shot, that's Marius, currently in 6th place. Behind him is Andrew for the Green Mumbas, and behind Andrew is Dylan. Dylan unfortunately out of his team colours. Marius going through turn number 6. Well, their throttles stayed on. That's unfortunately spun the car around. Andrew's moved himself up into 6th. Dylan's moved himself up to 7th. And Marius, unfortunately, he's now dropped down to 8th. So in shot, we have the two Green Mamba racing. Andrew currently in 6th place. That's Dylan in 7. Dylan's moving himself to the outside as it prepares to go through turn number 15. Dylan a much tighter line there than Andrew. Well, Nelly takes his nose with him, but pretty safe between the two drivers here as they break into turn 16. Well, Andrew's a little bit sideways. That's definitely going to cost him some time. Dylan tightens up his line, moves to the inside as they come out of turn 17 side by side through 18. Dylan will jump in behind Andrew as they prepare to go through turn 1. That was Marius behind Andrew. Through turn number 2. Then hard on the brakes into 3. Oh, Andrew's gone a little bit wide. Dylan tightens up, gets that power on. We see Marius taking that little post with him. Very tight line there for Andrew. But looks like Dylan might have the slipstream on him as they prepare to go into turn number 6. Dylan has a look on the inside. Andrew goes wide. Dylan tightens up. Dylan holds that inside line, gets that power back on. He's now side by side with his teammate Andrew. Dylan will retain that lead going through turn number 8. Marius is now putting his pressure on Andrew as they go through turn number 9. Marius right on the tail of Andrew. Through 10, 11. Well, that's Marius once again. Looks like the throttle got stuck there and it just straightened him up. So Andrew will survive this attack by Marius. We jump to the battle for 3rd and 4th. Jake's currently in car number 9. He is fighting Gerard, car number 38. Great exit there for Gerard, coming out of turn number 4. Just ahead there, that's Bruno, currently in 2nd place. Bruno's been pretty quiet this race. Got himself into a nice rhythm. He's got himself out of all the clutter. Whoa, that's a big moment there for Gerard. Carried so much more speed than Jakes going into turn number 6, and unfortunately Gerard clipping the rear of Jakes. So that will definitely hamper Gerard's chances of taking that 3rd place from him. So in shot, our race leader Charles, he comes through turn number 18. Charles will cross the line to win after that contact between himself and Gerard. So Charles will win, Bruno will finish 2nd, Jakes will come in 3rd with Gerard in 4th. Duppy a well fought 5th with Dylan in 6th. Marius will cross the line ahead of Andrew. Andrew will come in 8th with Ronaldo in 9th, Theo in 10th and Colin in 11th place. So it's time for a race number 2. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. So unfortunately we lose both Dirkie and Jakes. Dirkie unable to get his line ready for race 2 and Jakes disconnecting in qualifying. In 10th place Marius from Silverback Racing. He's behind Colin from Daycall. He's in 9th place. We move to row number 4. And in 8th place in car number 39 is Theo from DNA Racing, and he's just behind Andrew for the Green Mumbers in 7th place. We move to row number 3. In 6th place from the Green Mumbers is Dylan, now in the correct colours. He's in car number 59, and he's behind Dupi in 5th for Flat Rabbit Racing. We move to row number 2. In car number 29 is our Lone Ranger Ronaldo, doing a sterling job in the qualifying. He puts himself behind Gerard in 3rd place in car number 38 for Tosco 2. We move to row number 1, and Charles, our race winner, he's unfortunately put himself second on the grid for Tosco 1, and he's just behind Bruno, our pole sitter for Silverback Racing. As we wait for the green lights here at race number 2, Bruno is away cleanly off the line. That looks like Carrot with his lights on. He too has got a great start. Ronaldo is unfortunately getting a little bit crowded there with those green cars in the background there. With Bruno leads. Oh, there's 2 green cars sliding. We'll have to go back and have a look to see what's happened right there. But we'll just follow this action, just go through these first couple of corners. That was Charles having a look on the inside with Bruno, but that allows him to go through. Oh, a little tag on the back of Bruno by Charles. That allows Gerard to move himself up into 2nd place. But side by side as they go through turn number 5. We'll just cut back to see what happened there. That's Morris starting to make a move on Dylan as they head down this main straight. So we chase Dupi going into turn number 1. He unfortunately touches Andrew, pushes Andrew into Dylan. Andrew comes back into Dupi, and that sends both Andrew and Dupi for their synchronized spin. So Morris making a move onto Dylan going into turn number 6. But looks like Morris's power was still on. That's unfortunately spun him all the way around, and he's definitely missed out on that opportunity. We jump on board with 4th place. The driver Ronaldo, he's having a look around the outside in turn number 9 on Carrot. Ronaldo goes a little bit wide. Carrot closes that door. Hard on the brakes into this turn number 9. See Bruno starting to just stretch that lead away there from Charles. Charles having won the first race. Carrot definitely had a much better drive coming out of that turn 9 as they're coming through 10 into 11. Little touch of the brakes, get their nose turned in here at turn number 12. Back on the power. Having a look down that back straight, approaching turn number 15. That's Theo starting to put pressure here on Colin. Just behind Theo in that car, the yellow car, that is Marius. After spinning, going through turn number 6. Will Theo have a look on the inside? No, he moves to the outside. Colin goes defensive, and that's Morris, follows Colin on the inside. That's Theo now losing that place to Morris. Well, little contact there between Theo and Morris is actually pushed through the gap, and Morris will move up 2 places. That is Dupi now starting to apply some pressure onto Colin as they cross the start-finish line, going to turn number 1. Oh, that looked like Colin had just gone very wide there. He'd gone off, and that's allowed Dupi to move up a position. He will soon be getting some pressure from Andrew coming up in 10th position. So we jump to the race leaders. Bruno still leads with Charles in 2nd. Gerard is in 3rd place. Dylan is in 4th with Ronaldo in 5th. Marius is in 6th place now with Theo in 7th. Dupi in 8th. Colin 9th. And Andrew in 10th position. Through turn number 9, Bruno leads Charles with Gerard right behind them. Great shots of this camera going through turn number 10. Around turn 11, little touch of the brakes in turn 12. Get the rear stepping out through turn 13, back on the power. And down this back straight, preparing for turn number 15. I'm not too sure whether Charles close enough to make a move going into turn number 15. But I'm sure that Bruno will defend his line. on board with Scholl going through turn 15. Well, big sideways moment there by Scholl. That's allowed Bruno to get away ever so slightly into this braking zone. Turn number 16 through 17, the little kink in 18. And then back past the start-finish line to begin a lap number 3. Dylan making a move on Ronaldo, heading into turn number 6. Dylan takes the inside line. Ronaldo misses his line slightly. That allows Dylan to go past, and Dylan moves himself up into 4th position. Ronaldo moves down to 5th. So back to the leaders. Bruno still leads. Approaching halfway through lap number 3 with Scholl in 2nd, Gerard is 3rd, Dylan 4th, Ronaldo 5th. Morris is 6th, starting to put pressure on Ronaldo. Dupi is in 7th place with Theo 8th. Colin is 9th with Andrew in 10th position. Scholl having a look on the inside, coming into turn number 16, but moves back to the outside as it prepared to go through 17. Oh no, Scholl's unfortunately knocked Bruno. Bruno's rolled back and unfortunately knocked Scholl. That's allowed Gerard. He now goes ahead to take 1st place. See Scholl just hitting those brakes, slowing down. There's Bruno coming back, showing his thanks for allowing him to take that place back. So Bruno is in 2nd place and Scholl moves down to 3rd. Well, Dylan went very wide coming out of that turn number 18. That's given Marius a lot of momentum to take the position. Dylan now moves down to 5th place and Marius is up into 4th. Shot of the 2nd and 3rd place driver Bruno and Scholl. There's Gerard going past there in 1st place. It was at this corner 2 laps ago where unfortunately Scholl just clipped Bruno on the braking point and just spun him around, but Scholl did concede the place and they continue racing. So we'll stay with this action as we have a quick look at what's happening in the positions. Gerard leads with Bruno 2nd, Scholl is 3rd, Morris is 4th with Dylan in 5th. Dupi is 6th with Ronaldo 7th, Theo is 8th, Andrew is 9th with Colin in 10th place. So the battle for 2nd place is still very much on with Bruno. He's leading Scholl coming through turn number 15. But unfortunately, he's hit the outside curb. That's unstabilized the car. It's spun the rear out. We see that's Marius coming past. Marius currently in 4th. There's Dylan in 5th. The 2 silverback drivers are now together. Looks like Bruno just miscalculated that corner, went a little bit too wide. Got that power on, unfortunately losing that rear. And that's allowed his teammate to get right up behind him. Oh, that's Marius in the background. Marius, he spun it coming through turn number 14. So Dylan will move back into 4th place and Bruno down to 3rd. Marius is unfortunately down in 5th position. We're on a lap number 7 coming through turn number 2. This is Scholl now having fought back, putting some pressure on his same stable driver Gerard from Tosco 2. Well, Gerard runs very wide. It's allowed Scholl to get a great run on him. Scholl will take the place as he goes through turn number 5. So Scholl is the new race leader. Gerard is 2nd with Bruno in 3rd. We'll see who's in 4th place. Unfortunately, we'll miss that driver. But Scholl is back in the lead. Dylan currently in 4th place, entering into turn number 16. Unfortunately, he's spun the rear round. He's done a fantastic donut, but that's allowed Marius to move up into 4th place. So Marius back to 4th, Dylan drops down to 5th. Marius in 4th position, being followed by Dylan. Marius enters into turn number 15. Oh, unfortunately, losing it. The rear stepping out. Dylan marginally misses Marius going through turn number 15. We did find out what with Marius to find out exactly what is happening, and he did mention that his accelerator cable was sticking, so where he should be coming off the power, unfortunately that was staying in the on position and applying power where it most definitely shouldn't have been. Race leader Scholl leads them going through turn number 13. We take a look at positions. So Scholl leads with Gerard in second, Bruno is third with Dylan fourth, Marius is fifth with Dupi applying pressure in sixth place, Ronaldo is seventh with Theo in eighth, Colin is ninth with Andrew in 10th position. So coming to the end of lap number 9, going through turn number 15, in shot is Marius, once again having difficulty with that throttle, applying the pressure where it most definitely shouldn't have been. That's allowed Dupi to get into an attacking position. Dupi moves onto the inside, takes the place into turn number 16. So Marius will drop down to 6th and Dupi will move up into 5th place. So in shot, Tosco driver 1 will cross the line. Scholl will win with Gerard in 2nd place. Bruno will finish 3rd with Dylan in 4th. Marius will retake the position over Dupi to come home in 5th. Dupi will come home in 6th with Ronaldo in 7th, Theo in 8th, Colin 9th, and Andrew unfortunately disconnecting. So now that both races are complete here in event number 1, we take a look at the final standings. Scholl from Tosco 1, he leads with 60 points. Louis is in 2nd place. Louis was in pool 2 and he scores himself 43 points. Bruno from Silverback Racing, he claws back 42 points. With Gerard from Tosco 2, he comes home with 40. Dylan from the Green Mumbers, he scores 18 points, and Dupi from Flat Rabbit Racing, he scores 19. Ross, he too was in Pool B for the Fad Muckers. He comes home with 16 points. Ash, he too in Lobby 2, he unfortunately did not finish in race number 1, but he scores 15 points in race 2. And the final top 10 placed person was Andrew. For the Green Mumbers, he scores himself 15 points as well. For season 3 here in 2018, we have added in the team standings. Tosco 2 leads on 83 points with Tosco 1 on 60. Silverback Racing scores 54 with Green Mumbers in 4th with 34. Cape Town Boys, they are 4th with 25, followed by Flat Rabbit Racing on 19. Ninja Racing Team, they've got 18 with Synergy on 17, followed by the Fad Muckers with 15 points. DNA Racing, they score 10 for the day, and the Lone Ranger, he scores himself 7 points. And the final team in the points is Chasing Beavers on 2 points. Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, subscribe to our channel to catch more action coming soon. Give the video a like and then share it on to whoever you think would watch it. Our next race will be at Laguna Seca on the 4th of October. Until then, thanks for watching, yos.